HT. As I'm cutting out the newspaper clippings for Sunday's deals, I see an ad in the paper is seeking a woman aged 25 to 45 for a study of 1 day, 1 overnight compensation up to $30,000. I was thinking, well, that sounds easy. And I'm in need of the money, a little behind on the bills like electric, and still have not paid the vet. They keep calling. So I'll give it a try. So I should just call it up. So I dial the number, and it rings for a bit. Hello, yes, Miss Miller. Is that you? We have been expecting you now. That I have you on the phone. Let me ask you a few questions. How old are you? 25. Yes, and another one. What is your eye color? Blue. All right. Well, what is your blood type? It is type O negative. Oh. Are you all right there? Oh, yes, I'm fine. I'm rather excited. Oh, no, it means... Yes, dang it. Oh, another question. How long is your hair? It's down to my shoulders. Oh, very well. What color is your hair? It's red. Have you ever used dye products in it before? No. Very good. Will you be willing to travel 4,000 miles this afternoon? I'll email you the address. In the meantime, I'll be seeing you very shortly, dear. Now that is very strange indeed. As I'm waiting for the email to come in, I get excited, and then I get a message. I open it up, and I enter the address in my maps, and it says it's 12 hours away from me. That's not too bad. I'm going to drive, so I'll put it in my GPS. And before I go, I'm going to the gas station, and I have to fill up. I pay at the pump. I get a few items, a drink, chips, and a small sandwich. A strange homeless man walking back and forth talking to himself. He's making hands gestures, fists in the air. And then he sees me looking at me quickly. He stops and he proceeds to come my way, thinking, oh my gosh, what does this guy want? I wanted to be on his merry way. So he walked up to me and asked me for some money. So I give him $10 and he says, thank you. And asks if I would like my palm read, and I say, sure, why not? So I give him my hand, and then he begins to tell me, what you seek is not worth it, and then he begins to turn back. Before you know it, it's too late, and I say, yeah, right, and then I begin to get back in my car and proceed to go the 12 hours drive there. As I'm getting down the highway, I begin to think what this crazy man told me in reading my palm. I didn't try to think much of it, but before I knew it, I had a flat tire to a 10, so I quickly pulled over, began my jack, taken off my tire, changed it, the donut, takes off, some force, getting off. Then I get back on the road, I put in my GPS, and it says I'll get there by 7 a.m. I get a phone call on the way there. It was from the man asking me how much longer I would be. He was excited for me to arrive. I told him I would get there as fast as I can. All right, we'll be waiting for you. We'll leave the gate open for you just to drive up and get there. All right, sounds good to me. I get there within a few hours. It seems to be getting tailed by a black Suburban with one in there. I turn down some dark gravel road to turn on my brights. There's some potholes there on my way, so I start turning left and right to avoid them so I don't get a flat tire. As I'm still going down the road, I end up at this gate. I somehow drive up there, and then I park, and I walk up. Ah, we've been waiting for you. Let me tell you. Let me take your jacket. Ah, this is a gigantic house. You have some crazy art here. Very strange indeed. It was a dark painting with a Grim Reaper with a scythe. It creeped me out a little bit, but he kept leading me down the long hallway. There, when he took a quick right, and enter a room. This is where you'll be waiting here for the doctor to call me back. As I'm sitting there waiting for a little bit, I get bored, so I exit the room and begin going down this hallway looking for the bathroom. When I come across a door with a window on it, I think, let me go ahead and take a look inside and see what's in there. So I try to open the door, but it seemed locked. I see something chained to the wall. It's hairy, its long snout with yellow eyes and sharp teeth. It must be cold in there because I can see its breath as well. So I back away, but when I do, I quickly back up into this table, knocking over this vase. It shatters all over the ground. I quickly try to walk away like nothing happened, but then a robot pops out of the wall with a dustpan as something you not see every day. I was still walking down the hall. I had opened the door, as to my surprise, it was a little children's playroom with a wooden horse in a corner that was moving on its own. It freaked me out. There was a red ball that kept rolling across the floor, and then I knew something was up, so I hightailed out of there quickly as I could, but then unsettling feeling that something was following me back to the waiting room. As I see that there was a TV out there, there's a live feed in the hallway. How come I did not see this earlier? I just thought it was some nature show of a bear in the river eating some fish. And then I hear my name called. Miss Miller, the doctor will be seeing you now. As I begin to get up out of the chair, the room starts to spin and I collapse on the floor. Later waking up tied down now to a surgical table with bright lights shining in my face. Ah, okay, good. She's awake now. Can you hear me, Miss Miller? You took quite a spill there. Yes, I can hear you. Who are all these little things? This like someone's plugged my ears. Here, let me adjust that for you. Is that much better? Now, beep, beep. As I hear all the monitors hook up around me. Now, Miss Miller, you're going to feel a little prick and prod now. Ah, yes, she wails in pain. Ah! We're all a sample now. All we need now. We're going to be a little bit sore on your back for now for a few days. Still need to take your vitals for the next few days. That's all normals. Then after 4 days, then we're able to let you go home. And all, it was going to be a long drive, but I did I have the $30,000 in my name. It makes me feel a bit more at ease for the long road trip back home. 12 hours in the first few hours, all things started to feel a little strange. My stomach was a little stopped, not hurting. My eyes began to become swollen, but then I began to develop a rash on my arms, all of my body. Then things began to itch all over. I had to pull over and scratch them, but then when I did, I began to bleed all over. So I decided to take my shirt off and wrap them around my arms so I would not force myself to scratch. Then I get out of my car, walk around for a minute. As cars are passing me, I see a cop car pull behind me and ask me if everything's okay. He sees the rash on my arms and thinks I'm a big drug addict. I tell him I'm not, so he pats me down. But little did I know that something strange, even more stranger, happened. He believes me and lets me get back on my way. Then I begin to look at my arms, and then they begin to become more hairy, like a man. Then I began to look up in the rearview mirror. As I see my reflection, I thought this was supposed to be me, but somehow it's the cop's face, his glasses, his mustache. And I rubbed my eyes a few times, and I slapped myself in the face. I closed my eyes again to look, only to see the cop's reflection once again. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe.